Hello, everybody. We have an emergency broadcast brought to you by fucking Sam Altman and those dildos. We had to get on here. We had to talk about what's going on in Gary, Indiana. Shout out GI and Memphis, where people have been out of power in this fucking country for 10 days and no one gives a shit. And if you're my age, then you remember Hurricane Katrina. There were hundreds of thousands of people that were left without power. And it's sad to see that nothing has changed, literally. What is going on? People say, it's fucking ridiculous. I'm tired. I can't take any more bad news, man. Bad news. That's all it is. Bad news. And sure, we got our little moments of hope here and there. We're standing up the best we can to the bad people. But I mean, really, my lights are all fucked up too. Jesus Christ. This is just what you get for Sunday evening stream in the end times. All right, we are now live on Instagram, Twitch, YouTube. Oh, we got 2 comments already. What do we got? Same dude. Hey, what's up? Mama Cat Sweets, thank you for keeping us company tonight. We got a bunch of bullshit on the docket. These fucking bastards. You're right, Chance. By the way, Chance, I mentioned you in my story today because you've come on stream 5 days in a row. Sorry, everybody. I'm having a horrible run, but it's not bad. It's just hard. We'll get through it, but I had to get a new studio. Got 37 people with us on Facebook. Hello, Mouse, or Instagram, or wherever the hell we are. We're all going to die soon. You're absolutely right about that. The question is how. Why are you live? Why not? Because we have an emergency broadcast. And you should join us on Twitch or YouTube or somewhere else that isn't owned by Mark Zuckerberg, who is helping destroy the lives of innocent people in Gary, Indiana, and Memphis, Tennessee. People who only want clean drinking water and to be able to send their kids to fucking school. But Sam Altman's data centers just need a glug, 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 glug. We did this 20 years ago in Hurricane Katrina. They just left all those poor people. This is violent. This is violence. Northwest Indiana, lovely place. 20,000 people. Jesus. 12 days. Look at this. This is on the BBC. This is on the BBC. Hey, Steve, going to have to jump to see Kat, too. But I saw you put up the emergency signal. Oh, well, tell Kat I said hi. Hang on, I'll text her and let her know. Oh, okay, cool. So Kat's on right now? Great. Oh, yeah, there you go. Tell her I said, what's up, Chance? Cats are the best. Oh. Effed up nation, gee up. Yeah, I'm gonna get him. Tell her we're doing recognition of what's happening in Gary, Indiana. Tell her that. I gotta focus on getting the story out there because she's doing other important shit too. So don't bother her. Just tell her I said what's up. Yeah, effed up nation. All cities deserve the recognition. Well, GI is a very special place to me because I'm from Chicago. Used to work with a bunch of guys from GI. They were great. It's fucking bullshit. It's bullshit because this is exactly what George Bush did during Hurricane Katrina in 2005. The U.S. government decided that certain people, they've been doing this forever. And meanwhile, they have no compunctions about rerouting all that fucking power to a data center. Look at this guy's in his front lawn. This is what we mean by it's a third world country with a Gucci belt. I don't care how much money you have. I don't care what you do to live, thrive, and survive. But if you are only as wealthy as the poorest person in your country, period. Fucking period, dude. I'm so goddamn sick and tired of this bullshit. I'm so tired of it. I don't care about channel restrictions. I'm exhausted and I'm tired. I'm just sick and tired of all the fucking people that get screwed over for the sheer sake of just making money. It's the lamest thing I've ever seen in the world. It's so lame. If you're joining us on Twitch, thanks for coming. We're going to read this article. Nearly 2 weeks after a damaging storm struck her town in Indiana, Terry Du Bois is one of tens of thousands of people still without power. This was written 8 hours ago. The 77-year-old has been relying on friends to bring her non-perishable food to eat. Her son brought her a power bank so she can charge her phone and keep in touch with the outside world. Thankfully, the summer heat hasn't been too punishing, Du Bois said, meaning she has not missed her air conditioning too much. I've never seen a storm like that in my entire life. Never, never. It was like a sheer wall of wind. A wave of sudden severe storms brought flooding and tornadoes to the U.S. Midwest on August 11th, including Chicago and Indiana, where 7 people were killed. The former industrial town of Gary, which runs along the southern shore of Lake Michigan, was hit particularly hard. Gusts peaked at 99 miles an hour. The worst of the storm only lasted 5 to 10 minutes, but the impacts are lingering 12 days later. Power has been restored to more than 345,000 customers since the storm struck, but almost 30,000 were still without power as of Sunday morning. 30,000 people. Tell me how many people were in your high school class. Exactly, effed up nation. They're choosing to route the power to AI instead of human beings. I had 2,000 people in my high school class. In my high school. I had 30,000 people in my graduating class at college, University of Illinois, class of 2011. Eat a bag of it. That's my entire college being without power for 12 days. We live in a first world country? That's what I always hear. We live in the greatest country on earth. Meanwhile, and the people who are fucking dumb enough to say that shit are the people that think Ronald Reagan was a great president. But you are looking at the consequences of Reaganomics. What is happening in Gary, Indiana to those lovely people, Miss Terry Du Bois, who is literally not complaining about a 99-mile-an-hour storm that has relegated her to being without power. This is what I was talking about the other day when I said some people, we have something that the billionaires will never have. They have enough. We have enough. Okay? She said, thankfully, the summer storm hasn't been too punishing, Du Bois said. 77 years old. She doesn't have power. And she's grateful that it hasn't been too hot. She's up against all of that. Terry Du Bois, if you see this, you're a hero of mine. Because I know a lot of people that go without their comforter or their memory foam pillow, and you didn't hear the fucking end of it for 12 days. Yeah, we do. We live in 50 third world countries in a trench coat. I like that better, effed up nation. You're right. It's like the guy from whatchamacallit? What's that stupid show? No, it's actually good. BoJack Horseman. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Mama, you're right. Mama Cat Sweets. Cats are the best. Both the people and the name of the person. I don't know. Let's see. We got some people on Instagram, maybe. Yeah, we got 5 people on Instagram. We're all going to die soon, somebody said, which isn't cool. But, somebody said, fuck you to me. That was nice. Let's pin that one. Jasmine9083. You're a very nice person. We're going to pin that one up there for the guests. Thank you so much. Hey, P. Papademus, who are you? I have no idea. So, anyways, Gary, Indiana. No power. Perfect illustration of why Reagan sucked ass, by the way, but we'll get to that in just a minute. The worst storm only lasted 5 to 10 minutes. In the first few days after the storm, petrol stations, this is a British newspaper. I forgot about that. Petrol. Gas station, petrol, it doesn't matter. Supermarkets and pharmacies were without power, leaving people to survive on what they had. As the outage stretched into a second week, global food charity World Central Kitchen arrived to help people without access to food. Power outages are not out of the ordinary for this part of the U.S., but outages that last more than a week are uncommon. Once home of the world's largest steel mill, the former industrial heartland of Gary has felt the outage on many fronts. 1/3 of its roughly 70,000 residents live in poverty. 1/3. As well as dealing with storm-damaged properties, residents of the former industrial town have struggled to source food and maintain good hygiene. There have also been reports of people unable to refrigerate medication and a wheelchair user crawling down their stairs in the absence of working lifts. At night, some roads have been pitch black without working street lights. Alan has faced shorter power outages before, but this experience has been different as he has started caring for his 95-year-old father. As a result, he bought a generator which has been sustaining him and his father since the power failed. This is what's up. This is what's up right here. This is what I was talking about yesterday. This is why billionaires are never going to win. Right here. This is the mindset that we have to adopt. Damon Poppy, who has been grilling food in Gary during the power outage, told Reuters earlier this week that taking a shower and flushing the toilet are things people take for granted, but defiantly added, one thing about us, we're going to adapt to any situation. Goosebumps. Look at the goosebumps. I got goosebumps, people. That's what it's about. These people have every reason to be angry and infuriated, and they should be, and we should be on their behalf. But the fact that that guy is saying that we're going to make it work, and he's out there making food for his community, and he's saying we should all be grateful because we can shower and flush toilets. That's an example to live by. And we got to go help people like that. Oh, I didn't know about this, Effed Up Nation, but we're going to talk about Gary here in a second. I'm going to get into the history, and I'm going to need you to weigh in. Side note, NIPSCO has been supposed to have cleared debris near power lines that could have taken them down for years. Well, go figure. At night, we're sweating, we're irritable, we have children to look out for, elderly people who need electricity for oxygen tanks. It's not okay for us to continually be in survival. No, it's not. Amid mounting frustration, local residents have launched a class action lawsuit accusing the utility company NIPSCO, there we go, of failing to manage the trees which brought down the power lines in the storm. In the lawsuit, resident Jack Tippold said he was in the middle of dental surgery when the power failed. He said he was forced to abandon the procedure and was discharged without adequate pain medication. I had all my teeth removed and no medication for 48 hours. Let me tell you something. It was a struggle. NIPSCO has denied wrongdoing and said it would vigorously defend itself in court. Well, NIPSCO, you can go fuck yourself because now fucking effed up nation, put them on the list. NIPSCO, got a Joker card here for you, buddy. You're on the fucking list. Effed up nation, they're on the goddamn list. BRB for me too. I need to get my water bottle. One sec. Everybody stand by. We're cooking with gas here. We're cooking with gas. And now I got a name. NIPSCO. These motherfuckers. Leaving 70,000 people without power. Meg's gonna be pissed. Meg is gonna be pissed when she finds out about this, people. If you know my co-host Meg, if you know Meg, she's going to be pissed when she finds out about this. And she's going to be pissed when I spend several $100s on domain names. NIPSCO, you're about to get jokered, motherfucker. I'm going to make you my project, NIPSCO. For Gary, Indiana. We're going to find a way, and we are going to piss all the people off. NIPSCO. That's going right here. It's going to be my reminder. We're going to go. It's going to be my little reminder. I'm going to put this right here. Effed Up Nation, you're going to remind me. This is it. These are the people that fucked over Gary, Indiana. They didn't cut the trees. It was their job. They're a utility company. They literally just print money. They print money. They could literally print money. They're charging us for the AI data centers that are still getting power. And NIPSCO couldn't be bothered to cut the trees that took down the power lines, which is why these poor people still don't have power. Joker card. Joker card. We are going to pull some pranks. NIPSCO, you fucked up. Let's keep reading. I'm pissed. We recognize how frustrating and difficult it is to be without power for an extended period. No shit, you dildos. This is like the Democratic Party. We understand how unaffordable your groceries are right now. Blame the Republicans. Thank you. Thank you for continuing to tell me a series of no shit, of statements that result in me saying no shit. You understand? Indiana's Governor Mike Braun said on Sunday there was no excuse for these delays. He has requested a quicker major disaster declaration from the Federal Emergency Management Agency, which would unlock further help. Okay. With climate change making extreme weather more severe and frequent, such power outages are likely to become a more common problem. In the meantime, Braun has pushed NIPSCO to bring in more crews to get those without power back online. Put every available resource into the field. Get creative. Okay. All right. Okay. Let me just take a breath here because I'm pissed. This is fucking bullshit. Hasn't had power in over a week. Okay? This is totally racist. This is what redlining is. This is what they mean when we live in a fundamentally unjust society. 75% of the population is black. Do you think that that's a coincidence? They did the same shit at Hurricane Katrina. Same shit. They did the same shit in Hurricane Katrina in 2005. George Bush, he just let all those people suffer. Oh, we got 5. We have 5 subscribers. Holy shit. If you've subscribed, thank you. I don't know where I had somebody that I thanked in my story today. I definitely thanked Chance because he's dope. But then I also thanked somebody gifted a sub the other day. I have to shout them out on stream, and I'm making them a I'm making them a thank you note. If you gift us, I hope you all are safe there in Indiana. Thanks for the kind words, Donnie. Effed Up Nation. Portage has a large Latino community, and the portions there were located also have power down. I'm back. Sorry I had to have a conversation with someone. You don't have to apologize. Do your thing. I'm glad you're here with us. I'm grateful you're here with us, Effed Up Nation. NIPSCO, Effed Up Nation. NIPSCO. They're on our shit list. We're going to make some prank phone calls. We're going to make some prank phone calls this week. Who's the one? Oh, I think I'm the only viewer on Twitch. Oh, well. If you're on Instagram, though, fucking bullshit. Are you at a Chili's still? What? I don't know what that means, but join us on Twitch because people actually enjoy it there. Okay, so this is what we got to talk about, all right? Gary, Indiana, okay? We're going to tell a little story. It starts in 1980. I'm not a journalist, okay? I know a lot of people that are journalists, and I've read a lot of history books, and I happen to grow up in Chicago, which is very near Gary, Indiana, okay? So I've met a lot of people. I've worked with a lot of people that lived in Gary or used to live in Gary before it shut down. But like so much of the rest of America, the Rust Belt, Ohio, Youngstown, Ohio, in Gary, we were being taught to save on electricity because they were overcharging us. What the This is what I'm talking about. This is what I mean. It's a casino, okay? It's a casino, and they're not even bothering to hide the fact that they're picking our pockets. That's it. Period. End of sentence. God, it's so frustrating. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So, all right. We're going to talk a little bit. I'm going to do a little drawing here. I got to figure out a way to get a second camera going so you guys can see what I'm drawing when I draw. It'll be a good thing. Actually, wait, I know how I can do it. Holy shit. This is so easy. Do you guys want to watch me watercolor while I yell into the void about problems that we'll never solve unless we all team up like the Avengers and kick some ass, which we're going to do. It's just going to take a minute. Make sure you share this stream with somebody so we can fucking... I don't even know what to do, man. I just feel so powerless. It really makes me angry. It really makes me angry. I just realized I can join the stream, though, from my phone, which is cool. So I'll mute myself, and then you can see what I'm watercoloring, which is pretty sweet. That'll be soothing for us all. That'll be cool. Hang on a second. That actually gives me a lot of hope because I've been thinking about this long and hard. Sorry if I didn't notice you respond to me, BTW. Effed up nation. You don't got to worry about apologizing. We're not doing apologies. We say thank you here, okay? You never have to apologize unless somebody says, you know, you hurt my feelings. Then you could say, I'm sorry I hurt your feelings. But, like, if you got to go do your thing or whatever, take care of yourself, we're a community of thank yous, not sorries, because everybody deserves space. Everybody deserves respect. And if you're doing what you got to do, we're all about that in this part of the internet, okay? Now, if you goof, you can do what they say in Spain, right? In Spain, when I used to live in Spain, there was two types of there was perdóname, which means pardon me. That's like a minor screw up, like called you an asshole because I was having a bad day, and I was like perdóname. And then there's lo siento. Okay, lo siento is a very serious offense. That means like you cheated on me or somebody died and you're like giving me condolences. But the Spanish, they have the two words for the I'm sorry. Perdóname is like pardon me, excuse me, you know. And, you know, I'm in a position now just like personally where I've found myself doing a lot of like apologizing just because I've been kind of going through it like on a personal level with a lot of different stuff. So my friends remind me that I don't have to apologize. So don't worry. Hang on a second. I'm going to join in here. I'm going to mute my mic so that way you guys can see what I'm doing with my my hand. Okay, allow. Y'all, this is hard. Okay, how do I make it so that the camera goes front camera? No, I don't want front camera. I want back dual camera. Oh, cool. Okay. So we got this. All right, that works. I'm trying to make a watercolor camera so you all... Yeah, you're welcome. Or perdón. Hey, what's up, Smooth Bandito? Thanks for jumping in. I love the Valentals, man. They're always coming up with the good shit. You guys always come in with the positive energy that I need because if it wasn't for you all, man, whew, it would be lame. Okay, that's good. I'm going to be doing a watercolor here. This is the first time I'm doing this. Don't worry, I'll make it smaller. Make it the watercolor cam. Oh, hey, welcome to the stream, Smooth. Let's see here. All right. Gotta turn the volume all the way down here. All right, cool. I think we got a watercolor camera. Yeah. Let's see here. I've never been to Spain. Where are you living? In Barcelona? No, I lived in Granada. It was awesome. I loved living in Spain. Why is it volume on? I don't want this volume. Okay, let me see here. Sorry, everybody. I'm experimenting with this watercolor camera, and it's a little trickier than I had initially thought it would be, but I still think it's a good idea because you guys, everybody will really like it, I promise. If you get to see my art and not my crotch, it'll be cool. Let's see here. There we go. That works. Okay. I got the supplies now. I got the stuff. I used to live in Granada. It was a great place to live. The It was tough if you wanted to like get a bank account or do anything like that. They have their own kind of pace when it comes to shit like that, but it was pretty good. Let's see here. Welcome to the stream, Smooth. Welcome to the stream. Why do I hear myself? What the fuck? What? I didn't mean to print that out. Sorry. Okay, I think that's better. Am I a chili still? No, I'm not a chili still. God, why are these people? Let's see here. Oh, son of a bitch. Sorry, y'all. I'm working on this. I want my watercolor camera. We're going to be doing art. So those of you who don't know, there's 30,000 people in Gary, Indiana right now that have no power, which is insane. I don't know how it got that bad, but one of our friends here is Effed Up Nation, who lives in GI, which is what we call it affectionately, because the real ones know who've spent any time that GI is what we call it. I call it that. I've heard people call it that, at least. That's what I'm calling it, because the people I know and have worked with before and love all called it that. And yeah, we're doing like yeah, it's pretty bad, Smooth Bandit. It's pretty bad, not gonna lie. It seems like the power company doesn't give a shit because they're 75% of the people that are being affected by this outage are African American. And as we know from things like Hurricane Katrina and how Reaganomics works, I used to live in GI, moved out not long ago, but all my friends are still there. That counts. That counts. It's unfair what they're doing, and it really pisses me off. And this is what happens when unmitigated greed takes over. All right, I'm trying to give everybody a good idea of what I'm doing here with my art, because I like doing little watercolors when I'm stressed out. It makes me feel better. And right now I don't feel great. I'm pretty bummed out about the state of the world. Can you believe it? All right, that'll work. Okay, so Effed Up Nation, this one's gonna be for you. This watercolor. We're gonna make this watercolor for you, and I think Nipsco's gonna get some heat here for this. So yeah, Gary, Indiana is currently suffering one of the worst. Hang on a second. Let me see if I can find that video of Kanye West and Mike Myers in the 2005 Kanye West, George Bush, Katrina.
With the breach of 3 levees protecting New Orleans, the landscape of the city has changed dramatically, tragically, and perhaps irreversibly. There's now over 25 feet of water where there was once city streets and thriving neighborhoods.
I hate the way they portray us in the media. If you see a black family, it says they're looting. If you see a white family, it says they're looking for food. And you know it's been 5 days because most of the people are black. And even for me to complain about, I would be a hypocrite because I've tried to turn away from the TV because it's too hard to watch. I've even been shopping before even giving a donation. So now I'm calling my business manager right now to see what is the biggest amount I can give, and just to imagine if I was down there, and those are my people down there. So anybody out there that wants to do anything that we can help with the setup, the way America is set up to help the poor, the black people, the less well off as slow as possible. I mean, this is Red Cross is doing everything they can. We already realize a lot of the people that could help are at war right now, fighting another way, and they've given them permission to go down and shoot us.
And subtle, but in even many ways more profoundly devastating, is the lasting damage to the survivors' will to rebuild and remain in the area. The destruction of the spirit of the people of southern Louisiana and Mississippi may end up being the most tragic loss of all.
George Bush doesn't care about black people.
Please call.
In the past few days, America and people has been stepping up.
All right, Chris Tucker was pretty shook when dude, it's crazy. Like, that was 5 days people were without power down there, and there was a whole ass telethon. But now enter today. Nothing's happening. Why is no one talking about
powerful storms knocked out electricity to tens of thousands of residents. For many, it's still out, with frustration mounting. CBS's Usher Qureshi is in Gary, Indiana, hit hard by the outage. Usher, good evening to you.
Good evening, Jerika. At this hour, crews are still working while residents are in survival mode. Power is not expected to be restored here for many residents until late Tuesday, and the sense of desperation is growing. Like so many in Gary, Indiana, Shatia Hardin has been waiting for the minute her power finally turns back on.
It's been absolutely horrible. At night, we're sweating, we're irritable. You know, we have children to look out for, elderly people.
The storm walloped Indiana last week, killing at least 7 people and displacing about 1,000. In Gary, the storm knocked out electricity for more than half of the city's residents, where 1 in 3 lives in poverty.
It's not okay for us to continually be in survival mode.
Yesterday, Indiana Governor Mike Braun said he requested an expedited major disaster declaration from FEMA. He says losses from the storm and its aftermath could top $5 billion. Many residents in Gary have been relying on this community center for hot meals, air conditioning, and a chance to charge their phones. Earlier this week, a class action lawsuit was filed against the region's electrical utility, NIPSCO, alleging the company failed to proactively trim back vegetation from power lines. NIPSCO disputes the claim, saying it's more than doubled its vegetation management in the last 10 years.
Horse shit.
Eddie Melton is the city's mayor.
So we're going to revisit what should we do better from an emergency management standpoint. But going back to the utility side, what I'm going to encourage and demand that we start having more accountability.
Right now, about 30,000 people here in northern Indiana are still without power. For people who are still waiting, if their power doesn't come back until Tuesday, that'll mean they've been in the dark for 2 full weeks. Sharika?
Usher Qureshi in Gary, Indiana tonight. Thank you.
So messed up. So messed up. NIPSCO is full of liars, frauds, and scam artists. Yup. Sure are. In fact, I'm wondering if,
It's obvious, it's obvious. Gary is full of, us, diversity. Yeah. Not really diversity, but it's full of black people. Yeah. We the blackest city out here. So they don't want to check on us.
Yeah. They're NIPSCO. Everybody pays them. We don't pay, we get cut off. But when disaster happens, they want to charge us X amount of dollars, but we already paying into this. They got billions, trillions of dollars. We working day to day on paychecks. So yes, they could have did better. They got the money. We don't got the money. They say they supposed to maintenance that yearly. They haven't been out here in a year or two, maybe 3 years. I can't sleep at night because I can't plug my sleep apnea machine up. I can't afford a generator. I'm working on a month salary. So therefore, we need them to either give us generators or get this power up and running. We got a 91-year-old man that lived at the end, almost at the end of the thing. They had to rush him to the hospital. We had an elder lady across the street. She had medical condition. She bedridden. People come out to help her also. So we really need them to work more faster because we don't want to lose no lives if we don't have to. Our governor needs to get his butt out here and see the damage. You going in these other neighborhoods, you need to go through the whole city of Gary.
We do see people trying to give out free food and, just give back. The community definitely is doing something with the giving back. They've been giving away free food, especially at the Y here. They've been giving out free food to us in showers, hot showers. So it's definitely good that we all coming together finally.
I have to find the right thing to draw.
We just need more coverage for sure. We need to come together as a community and get it together. We won't be struggling as bad as just one person just struggling. If all come together, we'll be good. Something like this, they're giving out free water, free cakes, and famous people here and stuff. We need that. We definitely need that.
And they were all alike. We have differences. We need.
There you have it, folks. That's what it's all about. They said it perfectly. I don't know. It's not that complicated. You really just need to help people and leave it better than you found it. Do I have lightning bugs in the Midwest? We do. Also, I don't know if you've covered it or if you've highlighted it, but they're charging everyone, even those without power. What? Oh. Yeah, we do have less every year. It's really sad, actually. Gosh, this is awful. There's also a blackout in Memphis, Tennessee. So, okay, I think it's important that everybody understand a couple things about what's happening here. All right, part of the thing that we do here is we talk about news, but the other thing we're going to be doing more of is we're going to be talking, yeah, it does feel like a TV show. It feels like it actually feels like the book, The Parable of the Sower. I don't know if you've read that book, but it's pretty good. It starts in February of 2025 with some wildfires in LA. Unfortunately, let's see what we got here. All right. So I'm gonna I'm gonna draw a little thing while I talk about Reaganomics. So basically, what happened was in the 1980s, it's a portmanteau of Reagan and economics, attributed to Paul Harvey, where neoliberal or Reaganism were the neoliberal economic policies promoted by Ronald Reagan. His policies focused on supply-side economics. Opponents, including some Republicans, characterize them as trickle-down economics or voodoo economics, while Reagan and his advocates preferred to call it free Market economics. Okay. So why is this important to what we're talking about is, yeah, no, they do have data centers. Exactly. Memphis. Yeah. I'm going to zoom out here for a second because I do want to talk about Memphis, but I don't know as much about it. And I think we're going to have some people on this week to discuss it. We're going to talk about Reaganomics, though, because Reagan was a piece of shit, and so were his friends. And guess who picked up the policies and ran with them? Clinton. So Gary, Indiana used to be the biggest steel mill in the world, the entire planet, Earth. Okay? It was a thriving economic powerhouse right on the Great Lakes. And it was important because back in the day, you know, you had this kind of like Great Lakes like triangle of economic power, right? You got Youngstown, Ohio, you had Toledo, Cleveland, all of them were on the Great. Well, I don't know about Toledo and Youngstown, but I know Cleveland was on the Great Lakes. So you had all this steel, these steel mills, which were important because then you got to get them up to Detroit. And if you get them in Detroit, then you're going to get the cars made, right? So all of this stuff was interconnected in the Midwest, right? They were all Rust Belt towns, right? So what ends up happening is in the 80s, Ronald Reagan and his fucking friends, all of them assholes, basically decide that they're not rich enough. So what do? They decide first thing they're going to do is privatize everything. So prisons, for instance, schools, all that stuff. Everything's got to be private, right? Because if the government prints money, then people are going to make a lot of money if they just get contracts with the printer, right? Because then all they have to do is print more money, right? And guess what happens when you print more money? Inflation. Yeah. So privatization is a whole different conversation. If you were here with Valenti the other day, we were talking about how it ruined everything. The reason why I'm bringing this up in the context of Gary, Indiana, is because in the 80s and the 90s, one thing that we did was we privatized utility companies, which means that companies like NIPSCO became publicly traded, which means that they had shareholders, which means that, guess what? That means that they need to make more money. And in order to make more money, they need to raise prices. So, okay, you have public-private utility companies. Thank you very much for deregulating that. Actually, Neil Gorsuch's mother was big on deregulation. It's part of the reason why Neil Gorsuch is selling the farm to everybody, because his mom was an asshole and didn't think that we went far enough. But, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah. So what happened was, one of the major things that happened was that we did this thing where it was called NAFTA. And actually, the person who wrote that policy was named George H.W. Bush. But the person who passed that policy, that was a guy named Bill Clinton. And Bill Clinton was super stoked about NAFTA because basically it was going to export blue-collar jobs overseas, and we were going to give all the people that were going to lose those jobs an education so they could go to college and be lawyers, just like Bill Clinton. But it turns out Bill Clinton and his friends didn't do a very good job of making good on that other promise, and it turns out there weren't that many jobs. And, even if it had worked out, look at us now. They would have simply chosen AI. We all would have gotten our jobs taken out of us anyways. So all of those blue-collar jobs, all those car jobs, all the people who made cars, their job went overseas. All the people who we didn't need the steel anymore because we weren't building cars in the United States. We were building them in Mexico and Canada. And so basically what we did was with NAFTA, we created this very intricate, very complicated web of ways for big companies to save money on products that we used to make in America that were a little more expensive. Oh, and here's the other funny thing, too. And so after we privatized all of these industries like utilities, and then we sent all these good blue-collar jobs for places like Gary, Indiana overseas, we basically left these communities behind to fend for themselves. And as conservatives continue to take power from Democrats who did nothing, they continued to strip away resources from public funding, a.k.a. the Southern Strategy, thus further marginalizing people of color and feeding them into the prison industrial complex. So, Gary, Indiana has been hit on multiple fronts, and all of these fronts started with neoliberal economic policy, started by Ronald Reagan and continued all the way through by Bill Clinton and Barack Obama. And yeah, we really haven't done a lot to alleviate the circumstances that lead to 12-day blackouts in the United States of America. I'm so sick of hearing people tell me that this is the greatest country in the world. It's never been the greatest country in the world. Not by a long shot. Not by a long shot. It's been a great country for some people at the expense of other people, which means it can never truly be great. You want to tell the health of a country? Look at how they treat their elderly and they're incarcerated. If that was a metric for America and kids, that was the no, it's never been great. You're right. It's built on genocide. It's built on it's so fucking depressing. And now it seems like with the internet, the only thing that's changed is that it's just happening faster. And it's become more brazen. There's so much acts of brazen corruption and all of this stuff that's intersectional, like all of these Reaganomics, neoliberal economic policies are just folding in on themselves. I mean, think about it. You have 1/3 of Gary, Indiana that lives in poverty. It used to be the home of the biggest steel mill in the world. Steel mill's gone. Jobs are gone. People are left behind. Power goes out. Privatized utility company. Extreme weather due to climate change. This is what you get. This is what you get. And that's the thing. The rich people who benefit from it, they don't give a shit. They don't care about any of it. Some do. But most of them, they're not going to, they just flip the channel on the news. What is it to them? They don't know any of these people. All they care about is making sure their kids are happy and that they have enough money to send them to rehab because their kids are fucking miserable. But no one makes me angry, man. Yeah, Gary used to be an economic powerhouse. You love my art so far, by the way. Thank you, Effed Up Nation. This one's for you. So all of this, yeah, it used to be an economic powerhouse. Gary, Indiana is like one of the cultural capitals of the world. There's a lot of amazing things that came from Gary, Indiana. And now the only thing that, when's it going to be enough? That's what I want to know. When is it going to be enough? When are we as a society going to say enough? That's what I want to know. Because it's exhausting, man. It's exhausting. It's exhausting. It happened in Hurricane Katrina. It always happens. It's what the government does. It's tradition. The U.S. government leaves the most marginalized people in the most marginalized scenarios, and because they rely on people like us to ignore it. But it's our job now not to ignore this shit, because we know corporate media is not going to cover it. It used to take a lot longer most times for it to build like we're being seen it, but the internet was built to lower our attention span, which sped up everything we see and do. Completely agree, effed up nation. I completely agree. The velocity of information has changed the velocity of story, and that means that things happen faster, and we notice faster, which is why Steve Jobs, who created the iPhone because he hated people, secretly, well, he accidentally gave people the power to tell stories. Not the stories they want us to see. The stories that they try and prevent us from seeing, like the ones in Gaza and Palestine, the ones in Gary, Indiana, and the Congo and Sudan, and the stuff that, you know, ABC wants to talk about, reflecting pools and throwing Subway sandwiches and yada, 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 but they never want to talk about, you know, they're not covering shit. Whoa, what's up, Sprout? What's up, Sprout? I'm so happy to see you here. Thanks for joining us. Sprout's our mod. They're all right. They're more than all right. They're the homie. We had Chance on. I'm doing all right. I'm really upset. We're talking about Gary, Indiana. We're talking about how Reaganomics fucked up everything. And how basically without Reaganomics, you know, you kind of have the perfect storm now, Sprout, because basically we're in this like hyper extreme weather thing up north in Chicago, Gary, Indiana area. And, you know, the storms are only getting more extreme. For those of you, are any of you familiar with the story of the Edmund Fitzgerald? We're talking about a bunch of things, mainly caste consciousness and how our cities are getting screwed over. That's right, effed. Yeah, so the Edmund Fitzgerald was this ship that was carrying steel to Detroit, you know, and, you know, they kind of stopped in Wisconsin. The Great Lakes Freighters. It's pretty crazy stuff. But back in, like, the 70s when it was, like, the heyday of the auto industry, you needed to get all this steel across the Great Lakes to the plants in Detroit in order for them to make the cars. And, you know, this book I read about it, you know, it talks about just how extreme the weather on the Great Lakes is, and it's only going to get more extreme because basically all of the warm weather is moving up higher. So we're going to basically start seeing more and more tornadoes rip through the Midwest, which honestly, I'll take a tornado over wildfires, which, again, oh, geez, sorry to hear that, Sprout. I hope everybody's staying safe, and, you know, it's really sad, y'all. Sometimes I just get, like, I feel so much heaviness from the world just being so fucked up, and, you know, I got a lot of stuff going on, like, you know, personally that's goofy, and, so, yeah, it just seems like sometimes, like, it all just kind of collides, and it's really sad. I mean, I have a lot to be grateful for, though. I got a lot to be grateful for. I have great friends, family, community. I'm safe. I'm healthy. I have access to health care. So, you know, compared to some people, boy, am I lucky. But it really makes me sad when there are so many people in places that, you know, the nation is largely, people forget about it. It fucking pisses me off. My grandmother, who's my hero, may she rest in peace, she always used to cry on the TV when she would see people suffering like that. Doesn't matter where they were. She was really sensitive. And she did a lot of, like, charity work and stuff like that, so she did what she could. But, yeah, I don't know. It's just a bummer because you know how it all got here, right? It's just greed. Steve, never forget that when you feel heavy, as hard as that feels, it means you're human. And you're a shining example of how humans are supposed to feel when seeing the current world and its state. Effed Up Nation, that's one of the most beautiful things anybody's ever said to me on the internet in general. Appreciate you all. Thank you. I'm here for you too. I'm here for you too. That's why I'm drawing this painting for my friend, Effed Up Nation, and the people of Gary, Indiana. Will it make a difference? I don't think so, but it'll put a smile on somebody's face, which is all we need. Just a little bit of art in a time of utter chaos. That's what really pisses me off, though, is that it's so much of this shit is just about shareholder value. It's so profoundly lame. It's like, when are people going to realize that, like, the world is ass without other people? It was Joe Strummer's birthday. For those of you who don't know who Joe Strummer is, he was I think he was the lead singer of The Clash. I'm not as familiar with the history of The Clash as much as I'm familiar with the history of Joe Strummer just being an absolute badass. Hey, everything you do makes a difference. Even just putting a smile on someone's face is making a difference, and you can inspire them to go another day. Effed Up Nation, you're a shining example. That's what we need. As my friend Kat always says, revolutionary optimism is the only way to go. Cynicism is the way of suckers and losers. That's not how we roll on this channel. We have good teachers like Meg and Kat. Embrace the matriarchy. These power companies and this AI data centers, it's too much, man. We're gonna have some serious issues too. You know what I mean? Like, it's not just the fact that, like, it's destroying the environment and we're not gonna have a planet, etc. It's like the fact that everybody hates these things, and the Republicans don't speak out against them, or they do it cynically, and they fool people, and the Democrats, like, soft pedal it because they think they need to make friends with Peter Thiel again in order to win elections. World is terrible right now, but having community really helps. For example, my entire family is MAGA and can't leave them right now, but being in communities that help me fit in are amazing. That's what's up, Sprout. That's what you got to do. I agree. It's hard. It's really hard when it's awful, really. When, because, you know, the hardest thing about all this is that, like, this whole MAGA thing transcends politics. It's like values, you know? It's really sad. It's really just sad to see a lot of people that I once respected begin to treat people worse, or, like, say that they're like, oh, I love Donald Trump and this and that and blah, blah, blah. It's like, and despite all the pain that he's caused and all the people he's harmed, like, it's really, really disappointing to see people that you once admired now choose this kind of cynical, awful guy who's just a narcissist who appeals to their worst tendencies. It's so depressing. So depressing. Yeah, we got to fight. That's exactly right. The good thing is, this is the one thing they don't sell you in advertising. Life gets easier as you get older. It gets easier as you get older because you begin to understand what's important in life. You begin to understand what is important in life. And once you understand what's important, you're able to recognize what isn't important. And then you can basically just say, fuck it. Yeah, you'll get away. Don't worry, Sprout. It's never, you're going to get away. Don't worry. Just keep your head up. Just do the next right thing. Take care of yourself. And don't ever forget, comfort the afflicted and afflict the comfortable. That's what it's all about. And you can use times like these as a reason to create something, or you can use it as an excuse to destroy something. Always choose creation. And what Joe Strummer said was that punk rock is basically just good manners, which is cool. And he's right. And since I'm from the Midwest, I think that's pretty punk rock. But yeah, no, if you take care of people, helping people is the best thing you can do. That's the best thing you can do. And, you know, it's like EFT said, you never know. You put a smile on somebody's face, you don't know who's that's going to benefit. So, but yeah, it's, that's what's up though. That's what it's about, people. We're building, you got to build a community. That's the thing. If people say, oh, I want the world to change, I want it to be a better place. It's like, we can change the world. We can change our community right now. It's the people right in front of us, the people that we interact with every day, whether it's in real life or on the internet. You know, that's part of the reason why I stopped doing short form content as much, because like I think that it's more important that you have like, it's not about, I hate the word followers. I'm a stand-up comedian. Hell yeah. That's what's up, Sprout. Keep making the bracelets. I make bracelets too. Whenever I need to change up my energy levels, I make a different bracelet. It's important. It's important. If you're ever like mourning somebody or something, you can make yourself a necklace. That's a helpful thing that I found in my experience, is that if you make like different like jewelry or something, you know, especially when you're grieving. I'm Greek, so we have this tradition in the Greek Orthodox Church where the first 40 days after somebody passes away, there's like you kind of have like, they say that that's kind of like the I'm not religious. This is more just like a cultural belief, but first 40 days are supposed to be like kind of the you know, it's the most intense part of the grief. And actually it's interesting because physiologically when you're grieving, the first 40 days is actually kind of when your body exits from like shock and adrenaline and like fight or flight when you're in grief, and you kind of crash after 6 weeks, which is about 40 days. So once again, mystical thinking and science overlap. So yeah, but I make little black bracelets whenever I'm mourning something. I'm planning on trying to make a fuck Trump rotator cuff. I'll keep y'all update when I finish it. Hell yeah, Sprout. I want to see that shit. That looks cool. That sounds cool. Effed Up Nation. Working on your watercolor here. So yeah, it's good. Everybody creating stuff is good, because if we can create a bunch of stuff, you know, it doesn't, like, look at the flock protests and stuff. Like, there are people out there, like, dressing up like Darth Vader, you know, all that stuff, all that goofy stuff. That's the stuff they can't fight back against. It's not scary. It's just stupid. And that's what the movie Animal House is deeply problematic on many levels. It's not a good thing to show young men in terms of how to behave in college. That's definitely certain. And there are a lot of comedic gold moments. One of those moments is a speech I'm about to show you, because it always cheers me up. And I'm probably going to get a copyright strike, but I don't give a shit.
Looks like I missed something.
Yeah, you did. We're all officially kicked out of school. Wormer just got our grades.
They kicked us out of school? Huh. That makes sense.
Hey! What's this lying around shit?
Well, what the hell was
Supposed to do, you moron?
War's over, man. Wormer dropped the big one.
What? What the fuck happened to the Delta I used to know? Where's the spirit? Where's the guts? Huh? This could be the greatest night of our lives.
Gotta remember, they made this movie
You're gonna
when
let it
Nixon
be
was
the
around.
worst. Oh, we're afraid to go with you, Pluto. We might get in trouble. Well, just kiss my ass from now on.
This guy kind of reminds me of Valenti, doesn't
I'm
he?
not gonna take this. Warmer, he's a dead man. Marmalade,
Dead. Niedermeyer, dead.
Pluto's right. Psychotic,
But
but
right.
absolutely right. We gotta take these bastards. Now, we could fight them with conventional weapons. That could take years and cost millions of lives. No. No, in this
case,
I think we have to go all out. I think this situation absolutely requires a really
futile and stupid gesture be done on somebody's part.
We're just the guys to do it.
Let's do it.
Folks, that is what it's all about. Whoa, my phone ran out of battery. That's crazy. All right. This is our stupid and futile gesture we made. We love GI. We made a NIPSCO building being destroyed by a tree. I'm actually going to write the word fuck on the tree. I'm going to put fuck NIPSCO. Fuck you. Fuck you, NIPSCO. There we go. All right, everybody. This was an emergency stream. I wanted to make sure that we represented for the people of GI, Gary, Indiana. Effed Up Nation, this one's for you. Putting it on the wall behind us. You're goddamn right it is. You're welcome, Effed Up Nation. Thank you for making my night. You too, Sprout. You too, everybody else in the chat. 2 people in Twitch. Appreciate you. We love you. Don't forget, no matter what you do to live, thrive, or survive, everybody needs somebody to love. Go treat somebody kind. Go out there and learn something. Be curious, not judgmental. Use all this shit as a reason to create, not an excuse to destroy. This has been Party Crashers Emergency Broadcast. Do something nice for somebody in Gary, Indiana. I love you all. See you tomorrow, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. Take care, everybody. Love you all. Thanks for coming in, Sprout. Thanks, Effed Up Nation, for keeping me company. Y'all take care.